My parents had the greatest vinyl collection known to man. That was a heavy part of my education before I started going to music school. I started actually studying when I was 3, 4, 5, and plus Looney Tunes. That's it. I mean, I knew about the Blue Danube before I even knew what the hell Blue Danube was.
Because you were watching
You
Warner
know, I
Brothers.
was singing it, and I was like, yeah, but that's Bugs Bunny. He's, no, it's not.
Wow.
But I knew what it was, you know. But they had an incredible vinyl collection. I mean, Art Blakey, Miles Davis. Bebop, Cal Jada, Latin, plus, you know, Tito Puente, Pete Rodriguez.
Okay.
All those guys. And I pretty much grew up with those guys. Because, well, actually, my biological father was a keyboard player in the Latin circuit for a long time.
Is that right?
Yeah, my real dad. Yeah.
Okay, but your stepdad is the one who came in and kind of encouraged you and got you.
Well, he was the one that he raised me.
Okay.
You know, because my mom and my dad separated when I was very, very young. But my stepdad, God bless him, he taught me how to be a Mets fan.
How has that been so far?
Nice weather we're having, ain't it? No, I love my Mets. You kidding me? No, and he taught me how to be a man, what it was to make money, and you know how to do my shit right. You know, he was.
Tell me your stepdad's name.
Georgie
Okay.
Cordero.
All right.
Yeah, he was a GI. You know, he was stationed in Japan when he was younger.
Really?
Yeah. When he got older, that's all. Because I go to Japan all the time now. Japan's like my second home, and I speak Japanese, and my wife is Japanese.
Oh, okay.
So when my dad was alive, every time I'd go home, he says, "You know, I was in Japan," and I said, "Yeah, Dad, I know, but I love you. Come on, let's go have some steamed clams down at the pier."
Was he musical?
No, he
wasn't.
He was a spaz. God bless him. I would be sitting in front of the radio listening to Dick Ricardo Sugar or Symphony Sid, the radio shows, and I'd sit there with my bongos and play to anything that came on.
When did you get your bongos? So like when you were a tiny kid?
My dad, my dad
Okay,
bought me a set of
all right.
bongos. They also bought me a little conga. Because what happened was my sisters used to turn them upside down and pee in them. They used to think they were piss pots.
Thank you.
But anyway, and my sisters hate that story.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get him good for that one.
Oh,
That's how I'm going to lead the advertising for this podcast.
So
Sister Peas and Bongo, next on Music on the Run.
pee and bongos. So my dad, every now and then, he'd say, let me give it a try. And so I'd give him the bongos, and then it'd be like, no, Dad, you know what? And then he'd realize, boy, he was totally off. You know, I said, well, you do it much better, so I like watching you do it.
So, but he instilled something differently in you, and it wasn't necessarily musicality, but what was that you got from him and the way he led his life?
Man, just to go for what you want and don't say no.
Really?
That's it. That was it. It was like, you want that? Go get it. And he told me, before I left the house, he told me, you know, there's no room for second best in this family. Ooh. Before I left. And never root for the Yankees.
Those two things, huh?
I'm telling you.
I can go with that. I'm a Twins fan, so we don't like the Yankees.
Oh, my God. He never forgave the Yankees for, the Dodgers. It was the Dodgers, he said.
Oh, Brooklyn Dodgers?
Don't root for the Yankees or the Dodgers.
Oh, okay.
Because I moved to L.A., and he was like, you know, don't root for them.
You still can't vote. You can't root for them.
No.
Oh. So you were encouraged to play and go out and be your own man, and you were playing. Yeah. You said on tour at age 14. Eddie Palmieri. And,
I did a little bit with Eddie.
Okay.
Yeah, I subbed for Milton Cardona a couple of times. You know, at the Cheetah, and I got to hang out with all those guys, Eddie Gomez and Andy Gomez and his brother Jerry. Gonzalez, the Gonzalez brothers. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Andy and Jerry Gonzalez, incredible musicians. Plus Nicky Marrero. Mario Rivera, all these incredible musicians I started to hang out with. So
you play Latin music, but you play way more genres than just that. I mean, what was being played in your house was not only Latin music, but it was bebop.
Well, it was not only the vinyl collection, it was the radio also. Okay. I listened to the radio was incredible in those days.
Right.
There were great stations. There was great music. Like I just mentioned, 2 shows that were on the weekends. Dick Ricardo Sugar, the famous DJ, and Symphony Sid, they both had shows on the weekends. And that was a very special thing. I mean, my parents would get their rum and cokes, and I'd get my bongos, and the whole neighborhood would be listening to the station. Yeah.
Okay.
And so the neighbor, especially summertime, windows would be open, people would be on the fire escapes, people dancing in the streets, and I'd be on my bongos. You know? It was cool, though. I mean, it was just so much fun. So I listened to the radio a lot. I got into the pop thing. My mother was also into really old-style country western, believe it or not.
Really?
So I got to really appreciate that
No
at a very
kidding.
early age. Yeah.
Oh man, that's great to have this. It's like a melting pot of genres in your house.
And then I did the classical thing. You know, I went to all borough band and orchestra, and all high school borough.
Who's Mr. Rosenthal?
Oh,
Come on.
Mr. Rosenthal.
Tell these
He
guys
was-
tell them about
Mr.
Mr.
Rosenthal was a conductor that I had at the Manhattan Borough-wide Orchestra.
Okay.
And he was amazing. He could throw a pen from the podium and hit the trumpet player right in the chest. I actually saw him do that because the guy was just not paying attention.
Right.
You know, and that's the one thing I really learned from classical music was discipline. You know, incredible discipline. And this guy was jerking around, and Mr. Rosenthal was like, I ain't having that.
Really?
Yeah.